Welcome to the Watch Society.
With Watches and Wonders just over a month away, we're still getting new releases from big brands like Omega, who released the Seamaster 300M in 9-karat gold bronze. That puts about 10% 24-karat gold in it, which slows down the oxidation process, so the bronze doesn't patina as quickly into the duller hue or green if it sees a lot of salt water. But it does raise the price because gold is expensive right now, so the price of the Seamaster does go up, especially when you add the bracelet to it. But let's start first with the looks. The black dial, I think, looks really good with the red bezel, warm hue of the bronze with the gold mixture in it. And the lume matches that warm hue. It's almost Fotina, but it's really more matched with the case. It has a really vintagey look because of that, yet still, it looks gold. Bronze normally looks kind of goldish, but add actual gold to it, and it does have that warm hue of a low carat gold. And overall, I think people have said this looks pretty good. It comes on a black rubber strap, which it doesn't feel right for this. It feels almost too much gold for that black rubber strap, but on the gold strap, that's a good look. And this mesh strap that they've been putting on the Seamaster 300M is certainly an improvement over that 90s big, bulky, non-tapered Seamaster bracelet that I think everyone would like to see changed, at least to have a little taper to it. So mesh bracelet is a nice bridge until maybe we see an evolution of that bracelet. And we've been seeing it more since it came out on a Bond watch. And overall, I think the opinions are, I like this, especially if you compare it with the gold Seamaster with the red bezel. I mean, that is a pair of beautiful Omega watches that if you have in your collection, it's a look that you can keep up with two different styles. But the downside seems to be something that has been a common complaint in watches from big brands lately, which is the price with that bracelet is $27,900. I know there's gold in it, 9 karat, it's 10%, 24 karat gold, but that's still a hefty price tag. And on rubber, it's still $12,900. That's a hard pill to swallow for most people who have been looking at this and seen it in person. The general response is, this is kind of cool, but the price tag makes everyone just put it down and move on to the next thing. That's a shame because I like the fact Omega brought something interesting out. We'll see how the general public feels about this given time and what sales will look like, but I'm not sure that 9-karat gold premium price tag is something that a lot of people are okay with and will buy versus a steel or an actual bronze watch or an actual solid gold watch. Time will tell. We'll see. Next up, we have 3 independent watch brands, each with a new watch coming out. First up is Christopher Ward with the 12. Now, the 12 has been out for a while in above 40 millimeter version and a smaller 36 millimeter version, but now they've come out with the 38 millimeter version, kind of the Goldilocks for a lot of people's wrists. Somebody like me would love the bigger watch. A lot of people smaller wrists like the smaller one, but prefer something a little bit bulkier, and there you have it. 38 millimeters, it's out. It's been a very popular line for Christopher Ward. It's probably been the most popular line outside of the Bel Canto for people to do custom watches in, and I think we'll continue to see that. An integrated bracelet watch, on bracelet, I think it's just over $1,200. On rubber, it's just under $1,000 with a Solita movement in it. And Christopher Ward has certainly gained a reputation for making some really good watches at a really fair price point. And I gotta say, keep it up, Christopher Ward. They've done a great job, and this is just another feather in the cap. Now on the Bell & Ross, we have new BR03 Astro. The BR03 line is kind of the bread and butter from Bell & Ross. It's their square shape, about 40 millimeters, and it's really what they're known for. And it's a fantastic looking watch. It looks great on the wrist, and you know what it is from across the room, which is a rare thing for an independent watch to do. So with their design solidified, they've gotten to play with the dials a little bit. And this one takes the aviation theme for most of their watches and puts it into the stratosphere. That's such a bit of dad joke. The dial has the Earth on it with a satellite running around for the seconds, the moon going around for the minutes, and far off into the distance, Mars being the hours. Obviously, it's not the scale, it's not a planetary watch, but it certainly is a good-looking watch, and everything rotates without seeing any hands. It's a mystery dial watch. Not something we see often enough, and it's always one of my favorite things because to see things just floating around there, and if people are new to watches and don't understand the sapphire disc that these things are on and how they rotate, it's almost like magic to see. And at their usual price point for a ceramic watch, $4,800, there's no real premium here compared to the typical Bell & Ross. There's 999 pieces being made, so it's a rather large production run for a limited edition, but I think it's a fun watch. And if you already have a Bell & Ross in the typical design but appreciate that and want something new, right down your alley. If you love planetary watches, perfect for you. If you just like things that are different and fun and you wish you could take your Omega Snoopy and turn it around and watch all the Snoopy going around the moon and happening all the time, now just get Bell & Ross instead. It's a perfect example of having fun within your design language. And I'd like to see more brands do that, and Bell & Ross certainly did a great job on this one. And finally, we have our favorite Danish watchmakers, Arcanaut. Now, Arcanaut's known for pushing what makes a watch dial to its extreme. Fordite's been a common one for them and is still a standard in the brand, which is dried car paint that creates unique dials. They've done Lavender, which is literally mollusk shells to create this lavender dial. They've used shale, and in this case, they're using coffee grinds. That's right, coffee dial. That's set in a resin to create this, it looks like an espresso hockey puck on the dial. It's a beautiful brown, and if you're somebody like me who wakes up every morning, grinds their coffee, and just sits there and wants to start the day with coffee, and it is sometimes the best part of the day before the chaos starts, this makes me happy. The only thing about this watch that I don't like is that there are only 33 of them because I don't know if I'll be able to get one myself. The case that they have is unique to them. It's a great design with this integrated rubber strap. It's incredibly comfortable. It's 40.5 millimeters across, and it's an imposing 49 millimeters lug to lug, but the lug and the case curve to your wrist. It's incredibly comfortable. We'll have a review on an Arcanaut soon coming up on the channel, but I gotta say, it looks like no other watch. The dials are like no other watch. These guys are incredibly creative and pushing the boundaries of what you can do with a watch dial without going to the old well of what others have done before. If you are a coffee drinker, this is the watch for you. If you just like fun dials, this is the watch for you. This is by far my favorite watch to come out this week. Now, IWC has been a partner with Mercedes F1 team for forever, it feels like, and they're continuing that partnership. And this year they came out with a new watch before the new Formula One season starts. Bear with me on this title. It is the Big Pilot Shock Absorber XPL Toto Wolff Mercedes-AMG PETRONAS Formula One team watch. That's a long title. Just bring it down to IWC. But the watch is really cool. This is their shock absorber watch. So it literally has the movement suspended on shock absorbers from the case. It's a very expensive watch and very rare. I think they're making under 100 of these. But it's a watch that actually could stand up to being in an F1 car. It's a watch that could actually probably survive most F1 crashes. That's impressive. This thing is meant to take a beating. Or a golf swing if you're a golfer. This one can actually take up the shocks of going golfing with it. So while it may have a very long name, it also has a lot of ingenious design behind it, and it comes out in that Miami blue that they've been bringing out in different watches throughout the past couple of years at IWC. They've had the chronograph they came out with. They have the Mark 20 they just came out with, and now with this new Toto Wolff XPL edition. It looks good. I love technology behind it. It's not going to be for most people because the price point is prohibitive with that odd technology and low production numbers. But I'm glad it gets made. It's one of those pushing the boundary watches. So good on you, IWC. And lastly is everyone's favorite brand to love or hate, Hublot. They came out with the Big Bang Unico Magic Ceramic. It's a limited edition of only 20 pieces, as Watch Pro called it. It's a watch that looks like it has Smurf measles, which is absolutely true. That bezel is different, but what it is ceramic with two different colors side by side, and two different colors like that actually require two different temperatures and two different pressures in order to make the ceramic. Now, Hublot gets a lot of commentary for their prices or their designs or so many other things. But you have to remember they do one thing better than everybody else, and that is material design with ceramics. They spend more time and money on research for ceramics and how to make different colors in ceramics, how to put ceramics together, in this case, side by side in a repeatable pattern, in a repeatable style that is something that Rolex over there with their nearly unlimited budget still can't get a GMT bezel to line up on two straight lines on ceramic. They haven't figured out how to make those colors work. And so we end up with no true Pepsi. They have these off colors because they're over coloring each other, versus Hublot is now putting side by side those ceramics that require those different temperatures and pressures in the same bezel. They're miles ahead of what Rolex is doing, and this is part of the next generation of watches and technology that we see coming, and it's coming from Hublot. It's not coming from Rolex or Patek. They're the ones that are spending the money and the research to be unique in this space. So whether you love it, whether you hate it, respect Hublot for the fact that they're willing to push something forward that nobody else is spending that much time and resources on. So good on you, Hublot. Keep it up. Your prices are still ridiculous. Well, that's it for this week's watch news. What's your favorite watch of this week? What did we miss? Let us know in the comments, and have a good one.